just wrapped up a fantastic session here at the Capital Club around open banking. We had an elite panelist between Maxi Gregorio from Accenture and Mo Sadi from MamoPay, Abdullah from Tarabut Gateway, and we also had someone from Singapore, Jiang and Lee, who gave us an Asian perspective. Very interesting session around the future of open banking, why does it matter? And perhaps here, first question to Abdullah, which is, what are you guys doing really at Tarabut Gateway, and what is open banking, why does it matter?
So open banking is basically a framework that allows consumers to revoke or grant consent for third parties to consume and to process their data. At Tarabut Gateway, we are an infrastructure provider that avails and allows for that and enables that framework to play. We're an infrastructure provider that connects all the financial institutions in the MENA region on a single platform.
And Mo, so when you look at open banking and what effect it can have on the consumers and what it can evolve to, right, in the future, what's your perspective on this?
So I think open banking is essential for providing consumers choice when it comes to their financial services and where they choose to avail them, right? So companies like Tarabut lay the groundwork for fintechs like ours to really operate and scale up in the market. Today, for customers traditionally, their data is sitting with their local bank. There's no real interoperability of it. There's no way for them to actually export that easily and integrate into other financial services that they want to engage with. With MamoPay, we provide a digital wallet and peer-to-peer payment service that enables users to quickly and easily send money to each other, right? And open banking gives us the platform to be able to do that more seamlessly for the user.
So where are we at here, Mohammed, in terms of the readiness of the region? Is open banking really happening, or is it something that we need to look at the future for?
I think it's definitely happening. I mean, we should hope so. I think it's definitely happening. We're just at the beginning. We're just at the beginning. Regulations and frameworks are starting to be adopted. We're just starting to lay the pipes. But it's going to be an exciting journey. It's a very hungry sector as a whole. Fintech is booming in the region. It's a top priority for every regulator throughout the GCC and the wider MENA region. Without open banking frameworks or an understanding of how these partnerships are to take place, it's impossible to grow the network, right? And I think that having the right frameworks, having the right infrastructure would only accelerate Mamo's journey, for example, from where they are today to operating in 18 different jurisdictions. The moment that there's an understanding as to how these frameworks, how these partnerships can take place and allow the likes of MamoPay to create a crisp, customer-focused proposition and take that into other jurisdictions because they understand what kind of plugins he needs and how he can play ball. I think we're just at the beginning. Some countries have started it, other countries are discussing it, and I think once these frameworks start getting adopted and we see the value, it's just a matter of time before the entire region adopts these frameworks.
That's fantastic. So open banking is not actually only about the banks. The banks are one of the players in the whole equation. There's obviously also the users, but can you kind of shed a bit of light as to who else can be part of that conversation?
So I think when you think about open, there are multiple stakeholders in there, right? You've got the infrastructure players like Tarabut, which lay the groundwork to make to make this possible, right? You've got the banks who need to be willing participants in engaging and integrating there. You have the regulators who are essential in accelerating that adoption, right, across the market. You've got the customers ultimately who want control over their data, want to be able to interconnect with multiple financial services, and need to have that willingness and trust to passport, let's call it, their data and bank accounts across multiple players. But then you also need let's call it the fintechs or new companies that are building innovative services and delightful experiences on top of this infrastructure that's provided. So all of these ingredients need to take place. And I think, going back to your question of where are we today, I think the beauty about the region is that you see all of these components, all of these stakeholders sort of coming together and sort of converging towards a moment of truth where that will happen.
So this was really one of the key things that came out of this conversation, right? Is that it's really an ecosystem play, and it's even the voice that we had from Singapore and Asia around the fact that this kind of initiative really opens the ability for ecosystem plays and a lot of interaction, and that creates a lot of value across different users. And one of the key elements that was discussed, for instance, was the impact and effect of the big techs in Asia, and as an example, Grab and so on doing what they're doing, and around the super apps, which actually is one of the main topics that we're going to be handling here at the Capital Club in the series about ecosystem plays in the fintech. The next session will be about super apps, and we will expect you, hopefully, to join us in this conversation very, very soon. Thank you both, and thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.